just having a quick look at some of the live chat, and we'll come to that after we go through the grid. On pole position, Jared Fox-Whiteley, alongside him Melissa Adrian, with Lizzie Mentier and Emily Cooper on the second row, Leon Barlow and Ben Adrian on row 3. Harry Platek Holland is alongside Jack Stimpson, with Lewis Goff and Isaac Parkinson on row 5. Then we have Daniel Parsons and Tom Nottingham on row 6. Lucas Blanford starts 13th alongside Callum Foster, with Oliver Fabricius and Addison Smith sharing row 8. Ben Horner and Sonny Morgan are on row 9, with Jack Burgess starting on row 10. Lincoln Bevan's been on, saying what class is next? Well, this is our Minimax class. Then we're going to have a short break and we'll be back with the final heat of our Honda Cadet class. That will be heat 4 for them. We've got others wishing everybody good luck. Thank you for getting in touch. This one will be a rolling start, so as long as they get themselves into a reasonable order. Fox-Whiteley then in the number 22, the orange machine, with Melissa Adrian alongside. They will get themselves sorted. There's a bit of contact there actually between a couple of drivers trying to get themselves into the right position. And looks like we're going to go again, and I'm fairly sure, I think Emily Cooper, I think, was on the second row, and Harry Platek Holland was in front of her at the start, so hopefully they can get themselves sorted into the correct order. It looks like they have. There's Cooper's coming alongside. They're having a little bit of arm waving, but I'm fairly sure that's where they should be. Mentier should be on the second row as well. They're at the start, so hopefully they can get themselves sorted, because Mentier, I think, was P3 or P4, so they'll be on the, I think she's P3. She was alongside Emily Cooper, with Melissa Adrian on the outside of the front row. Looks like we're all much closer, and hopefully much tidier as they make their way around Osiers, heading then down towards the boot. Don't want to slow it up too much. Obviously, we spoke to Max Shields earlier on about the carts, and just about how the if you go too slow, the spark plug oils up, and then the throttle doesn't get the power it needs when they put the throttle down, and they are unable to go racing. So we come over the start line. If you could do us a little favour, give us the stream a share as well as a like and a subscribe, so people that might not be aware that there's a race meeting going on here today at Whilton Mill can take in this fabulous race as we've got drivers round. Couple looks like Callum Foster there. Is it potentially the 6 on the grass? Ben Horner is facing the wall, and that means that car is going nowhere quickly. Leon Barlow making his way through up into 4th place. Lizzie Mentier already through onto the back of Jared Fox-Whiteley, with the other runners in the middle of the pack all making their way down the hill. Blanford there in the unmistakable bright yellow helmet, making his way up a number of places in the opening few corners. Fox-Whiteley then leading the way from Lizzie Mentier, with Melissa Adrian in 3rd. Leon Barlow in 4th place. Looked like it was a driver going quite slowly there into the boot. No, it was good. Blanford was coming through down the inside, so they had to run slightly wide as the driver of the 59 machine came through. 9th to 5th on the opening lap as Fox-Whiteley leads the way then. Mentier holding off and goes defensive already to Melissa Adrian. She's down the inside. Looked like Leon Barlow was alongside and in 3rd place for a short while. He's back into 4th. Blanford then will be 5th. We've got Cooper, Platek Holland, Goff, Fabricius and Ben Adrian completing the top 10. There's your race leader, Jared Fox-Whiteley, holding off Lizzie Mentier, or Mentier looked like she was going to make a late dive down the inside there into Osiers, but the door was always going to close from Jared Fox-Whiteley. Oh, look at that. Blanford, too much speed in, takes out Melissa Adrian. I don't know why his hands are off the wheel, because that one, 100% Lucas Blanford's fault, and we've got carts on top of each other down there. That's Addison Smith is underneath the cart, and I think he's in a little bit of pain there as that cart is up on top of him. Quite uncomfortable. Full course yellow we go there. And that one, I'm not sure if we're going to get a replay, but Lucas Blanford came in there white hot into the boot section and was only ever going to be, he was going to be heavily reliant on other carts there complying with how he was coming in. Let's have a quick look at this one, but bearing in mind that at this point in the lap, he's not even in shot. This actual speed in there, Melissa Adrian was always going to turn into that because she had no idea he was coming. Arm off the wheel from Lucas Blanford, but when I'm sure he watches that one back, And then we've got Leon Barlow rejoining with a couple of others. Addison Smith under that one. And the red flag is out after 2.5 laps of racing in the mini Rotax heat number 3. So I'm not sure whether we're going to bring them round and restart this one, or whether we're going to take everybody back off into the pit lane and then let another class out and then slot this one back into the rest of the standing later on in terms of the running order. Looks like everybody is just getting parked up as they are at the moment. Crew from the CKC JKC series. Just going to hold everybody there. Hayden Taylor's been on, saying good luck to my mates from Clay. Don't know you, Hayden, but feel free to let me know who your mates from Clay are, and we'll drop a few shout outs in there as well later on in the day. If you can just drop some names in there, that'll be good. Andy Barlow just dropping a Leon in there, as our race leader is currently just up and out of his car and surveying the surroundings, looking really back at where everybody is in terms of where we are. I think we could potentially be looking at a complete restart of this one as everybody makes their way down. They're just having a quick look at some carts, and looks like we've got drivers out. Looks like I'm just assessing legs, but the one on the left is definitely the race suit of Leon Barlow. So just as we get this one sorted, I think we might be just going to go and potentially just have a word from a few of our sponsors. But as our drivers all get themselves together and just have a quick look and see who's down there. There is Addison Smith. He was the driver in the 15 cart who was underneath. He's hobbling away. He got the cart right up on top of him there in that incident. The front nose panel of that cart completely gone with contact as well. The 39 of Isaac Parkinson was in there as drivers rejoined the circuit here at Whilton Mill after the incident down there. Oh, Hayden Taylor, he's actually at Clay Pigeon, not from that sort of area, but he's wishing the best to Jared, Lewis, Leon, Lizzie and Lewis and everybody in this mini class as well. Somebody's been saying good luck to Callum Foster. So when the red came out, he was in 12th. I'm not sure. I don't know whether we're going to redo this one in race order, or whether we're going to put everybody back into the original start order from there. But we'll see how we go. I think we've got a couple of moments while the team sort everything out. So we're just going to have a quick word from our sponsors. Welcome back to Whilton Mill. We are, well, I'm about to say we're about to go racing, but at least everybody's back in the carts that's able to. So they're back in, and they're going to get rolled round. I think they might just get a helpful start from the things. They're getting pushed round. I think we're going to grid them up, and be interesting now to see whether we go racing again straight away with these, or whether they come into the pit lane and then we add them back into the schedule later on for the remainder of this mini class. Whilst we're there, please do give us a like and a subscribe. Share the stream as well, which would be really, really nice. Looks like we're actually regridding up either back into the positions that we were on the previous lap, or whether we are going to go for a complete restart. Although Melissa Adrian has had her kart roll back into the position behind Lizzie Mentius. It looks like we've gone back a lap, and then we're going to restart from there, and we're just going to get everybody into the correct order. That's why the marshals were pushing the leaders further down, just to create some space to slot everybody into. And we are playing. We're having a little bit of a reshuffle. Everybody's going back. Don't want to be pushing them back too much by the nose cone. Don't want to push that one in, unfortunately. But we're going to send them round and reposition themselves. And everybody's going to, we're going to get them racing again. After this one, we'll have a short interlude while we go to one of our guest classes. We'll then come back for Honda's Heat 4. And then after that one, we'll be able to sort out the grid, because we do have a B final in our Honda Cadet class. That'll be after later on. It'll be around about 3:30 now, I would imagine. We are slightly behind schedule, about 25 minutes behind schedule, but we have obviously going to sort this out and sort. So that one will be, the B final will be around about 3:30-ish, and that'll be for drivers that haven't made it into the top 20 in our Honda class. So anybody that's either had a few problems earlier on in the day, or anybody that's had a, not had the luck of the draw potentially. There is one driver missing from our Honda, sadly. We saw earlier on in the day, Max Gilman had the issue where he was off, so the kart, unfortunately, beyond repair. The driver, though, he's still in good spirits, but they are already back at home and watching, and we thank them. We wish Max all the very best, and hopefully we can get that kart sorted and ready to race next weekend, wherever that may be. We wish them all the very best, but looks like Max is in good spirits, and wish them all the very best. Same as well to Addison Smith, who's just gone off there in the ambulances. He had ended up with a cart on top of him in an incident that was really no fault of his own, unfortunately. And as we see see some of the spectators, some of our cadets getting ready down the chicken run. This driver nearest to you, that is Jensen White. The driver up on the fence with the orange bits on his suit is Stanley Clark, and then between them, Isabella Stansmore Wilson. She'll be out in the fourth heat for Honda soon, because she wasn't in the first race of the day, so she's gone in heats 2, 3, and 4. So they're enjoying the they're enjoying the action, but they're probably wondering, like the rest of us, when we're going to get to go racing again after the circuit gets itself cleared of stray bits. It looks like Addison Smith's Nauseo panel was in a few pieces, so I imagine there's somebody down there at the boot with a large sweeping brush, giving that a clean. And our race director there with the orange woolly hat, he gets his obligatory time on camera. I think he's telling them that they're going to get one lap round the track, one full lap, and then we're going to go green and racing. So at least we managed to lip read there as to what's going to happen. There's some more of our young stars. On the right-hand side, we have Larry Price. In the middle, in the lighter of the two blue suits, we have Thomas Potter, as he's getting some help with his rib protector, just getting that either readjusted or tightened up. But I think in the background there we can hear the Rotax engines buzzing themselves into life. And, nope, we are still quiet here at Whilton Mill. I thought we were good to go after race director had told everybody that we're going to be one rolling lap and away. But looks like we have been regridded back into the positions that they were the lap prior to the red flag coming out. So much of the paddock there watching on from down the other side of the pit lane. We are Going to restart just by rolling round then with the Battenberg flag out, and they will come through over start line. They'll get one more lap as well. And then they'll go under a normal, not a normal rolling start, because it'll be as if they were under Battenberg. So it will be single file rather than side by side on the on this rolling round lap. So when they go over start finish, it's a straight line start with drivers behind each other rather than side by side as they come through. And obviously it's a much smaller field with a couple of runners, Addison Smith, Isaac Parkinson as well, off. Reports that Addison's gone to the medical centres. Hopefully he was all right. When he wouldn't. So I'm just getting some comments coming just in asking how he's doing. Well, he was out of the cart on his own steam, was hobbling a little bit into the ambulance, but did then make his way to the on-site medical centre. And as we are racing again, hopefully he is all right. But I will pop out during the interlude after this race and see that he is okay, and then hopefully I'll be able to report some positive news back to those that are watching at home here, the action at Whilton Mill. Into the boot section they come then. Expect them to go green this time round. Jared Fox-Whiteley leading them round with Lizzie Mentier in second place. They go green and we are away and racing. He stays to the correct side of the track just to make sure that he can stay where he is. Through they come though. So it's Fox-Whiteley, Mentier, Melissa Adrian and Lucas Blanford gets to the inside. They're already defending down into that corner. Blanford comes in down the inside of Lizzie Mentier, up into second place for Lucas Blanford. Already started to make away. At the moment, at the end of this lap, we'll see at the top of the screen exactly how much time we're going to have, I think, remaining during the for the rest of this race. And see what happens there, because obviously we were starting to count down. Then we had the red flag. So we've got 4 minutes remaining. It's already popped up. Fox-Whiteley overtaken there by Blanford into the boot section. Blanford goes the other side and gets the brakes on, and Fox-Whiteley then has a little nudge into the back. Doesn't look like it's caused any issues with the front fairing, but the top three then as they come over the line: Blanford, Fox-Whiteley, Mentier, Adrian, Platek, Holland, Goff, Fabricius, Cooper, Adrian and Stimpson. The top 10. As Fox-Whiteley defends then from Lizzie Mentier. There's a gap then back to Adrian, who's defending from Platek Holland into Christmas Corner. And the top three have a reasonable gap. Contact warning then off camera for the 4 of Lewis Goff. He's currently running in 6th place. There he is behind Harry Platek Holland. Down the inside, Holland leaves the door open. Goff goes down the inside. The door closes and Goff has to save it with an emphatic sideways bit of action, but he has lost a place there then to Oliver Fabricius, who comes through. Ben Adrian is behind, and then the car behind them is the 71 of Jack Stimpson, who looks like he's moved up a place at the expense of Emily Cooper. 3 minutes remaining then, so we're going to get at least 4 or 5 more laps of action here at Whilton Mill. As the field begins to spread out a little bit, which is always to be expected when we go racing off a rolling start a couple of laps in, because by then some of the runners have moved into their more respective positions. Fox-Whiteley left the door open there. We saw the back of Mentier trying to go down the inside as we switch focus back to this battle that's allowed Melissa Adrian to move away slightly from Harry Platek Holland, who's coming under pressure from Fabricius, Goff and the second of the 2 Adrians, Ben. As they come through, him and Millie Cousins racing together in this mini Rotax class. 2.5 minutes remaining, and Millie holding on then in 4th place, and it opened up a gap from Harry Platek Holland, who almost runs out of concrete there on the rumble strip as he goes almost onto the grass. Fabricius though can't get through and take advantage. Behind them, Jack Stimpson has got past Ben Adrian for 8th place. And Platek Holland, very defensive in his kart positioning down there into Ashby's. And will that mean that he has to get hung out to dry later on in the lap, because it's going to allow Lewis Goff to get alongside Fabricius. Fabricius is going to bounce over the curbs. Goff's on the inside, and it looks like then Stimpson could come through, and all the way around the outside for Stimpson on Lewis Goff. That's how it's done into the boot. Goff's going to try and get back down the inside. Jack Stimpson coming through. He's the driver on the move, up into 7th place, taking 2 places on the previous lap. Ben Adrian picks up a contact warning. 1.5 minutes remaining, and Goff now in the slipstream of Stimpson. Has a look over Stimpson. does his one move that he's allowed to do and slots back onto the racing line. 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining then. So they're going to get at least 3 more efforts at this one, as looks like Stimpson there was going to slide slightly wide, but holds the machine in place. Platek Holland then in the 77, proving difficult to overtake, but doing exactly what he needs to do, parking that kart perfectly. It's all up to the driver behind to try and overtake cleanly, as Lewis Goff gets down the inside of Stimpson, and this time he's going to go through. Will Stimpson get the cut back? But certainly Whilton Mill doesn't really allow for that one, with the next corner being a flat out left before almost a flat out right. Certainly is in some of our classes, certainly Hondas, they're going flat out right in that right-hander. Those towards the front of the field, definitely. But Lewis Goff through then and back up into 7th place. Stimpson goes down to 8th with Cooper and Adrian behind. And as often in karting, it just split off into pairs, and Platek Holland and Fabricius, they've split off. Goff and Stimpson, they've had their battle. Cooper and Adrian behind, but now Goff is right up on the back here, because Platek Holland has been holding Fabricius at bay, but can't do it any longer as they go into the boot. Fabricius through, and now he's going to come back down the inside. He thought he was going to keep his foot in there all the way around the outside. Goff is right on the back as well. There was a little bit of contact in the back there from Lewis Goff, and Lewis Goff down the inside, slides through an oblivion corner, and there's contact then between the two, the battle for 2nd place, Fox Whiteley and Mentia. We cut to that ever so briefly as Mentia tries to get down the inside of Jared Fox Whiteley. He holds firm and is still in 2nd place. The time at the top, that's extinguished. Last lap board will be out this time. Lap and a half then in this mini Rotax. Second heat number 3. This will set the positions for the final. And Jared Fox Whiteley and Lizzie Mentia both have had good results throughout the day. Don't want to throw away a 2nd and a 3rd place with anything silly. Last lap board is out then. Blandford's down the road. But Jared Fox Whiteley and Lizzie Mentia nose to tail. And I know Fox Whiteley's going to go to the inside here. He's got to go to the inside. Mentia's going to try and go round the outside. Fox Whiteley defends venomously. No contact between the two of them. Fantastic racing here in minis. There's now Mentia once again. She's going to dive down the inside into Ashby's. Fox Whiteley tries to close the door. Mentia's going to squeeze him out wide. Fox Whiteley then will have track position for the double apex left. Round the left at Wilkins, then once again left at Oziers. Half a lap remaining, only the boot complex, and Mentia's going to try and go round the outside. This will be brave if she can keep her foot in round there. Fox Whiteley though, will she get to the inside? Towards the final corner, there's a little bit of contact between the two of them. Blandford's taken the checkered flag, and Fox Whiteley holds on for P2 from Mentia, the top 3 then.